I have to head out today for a long trip, and I'm inviting you to come along as I listen to one of my mentors, Dr. Myles Munroe. You know, I have mastered the art of silence. It is truly empowering. So while you listen in, take in also the drive, the beautiful sunrise as I drive from Philly to Atlantic City.
In life, we are often confronted with challenges, people who try to provoke us, situations that test our patience, and moments when the world seems to demand a reaction from us. But I want to challenge your thinking today. Don't react. Cut them off silently. You see, in the heat of the moment, it's easy to react. We think we must defend ourselves, explain our side, or set things straight. But in reality, the true power lies in mastering your response. The more you react, the more you give others control over your emotions. But when you choose not to react, you take back control. Silence, though it may seem like a passive response, is actually one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. Silence communicates strength. It communicates that you are in control, that you have nothing to prove, and that you are not easily swayed by the chaos around you. When someone insults you, criticizes you, or tries to drag you into the emotional turmoil, remember, you do not need to engage. Not every battle is yours to fight. And often the most strategic response is not to react at all. It is not weakness to disengage, it is strength. It takes immense strength to walk away from negativity without uttering a word. It takes wisdom to recognize that not everyone is worthy of your time or energy. You don't need to convince everyone of your worth. Your silence already speaks volumes. Don't waste your time trying to change people who have no intention of understanding you. Understand that some people are simply toxic, and the best way to deal with toxic people is to cut them off, not with anger, but with the quiet strength of disengagement. In cutting them off, you preserve your peace. When you stay composed in the face of provocation, you become the master of your emotions. The goal is not to let anyone control your state of mind. You set your own boundaries. And those boundaries, my friends, are your defense against unnecessary drama. It is not about ignoring problems. It's about recognizing that there is no point in fighting battles that don't serve your growth. You do not need to engage in every conflict. You do not need to respond to every challenge. The mature person knows when to speak and when to stay silent. The wise person understands that silence often says more than words ever could. And let's be clear, cutting people off silently does not mean you hold hatred or anger against them. It simply means you recognize their negative influence on your life and choose not to allow it to affect you. It means you are focused on your growth, your peace, and your purpose. You understand that not every relationship is meant to continue, and not every person deserves a place in your life. So when confronted with negativity, when faced with insults, or when others try to provoke you, choose to remain composed. Choose to let your silence be your strength. Your dignity will remain intact. Your peace will remain unshaken. And your life will continue moving forward with greater clarity, purpose, and peace of mind. Remember this, you don't need to react to every situation. Sometimes the greatest strength is found in what you don't say, in what you don't do. And in the end, when you rise above the noise, you will be the one standing in your own power. In every situation, you hold the power to choose how you respond. Too often, we let external events or people dictate our emotional state, as if we are mere reactors to the world around us. But the truth is, we are not bound to respond automatically. Our responses are not impulses, they are deliberate decisions we make in real time. When you feel yourself being provoked, frustrated, or overwhelmed, remember that you have a choice in that moment. You can choose to react impulsively, which often leads to regret. Or you can choose to pause and control how you engage. It's this pause, this moment of reflection, that holds the key to maintaining composure. The power to control your response allows you to avoid being swept up in the chaos, to avoid the emotional reactions that often cloud judgment. This control is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending that what happens to you doesn't affect you. It's about understanding that you do not have to act on every emotion you experience. Feelings may arise, but you can choose how to channel them. Anger, frustration, hurt, they are natural human responses. But how you choose to process and express those emotions is entirely within your control. Instead of reacting from a place of hurt, defensiveness, or panic, you can respond from a place of calm, wisdom, and clarity. The people and events around you do not have the right to determine how you feel, how you behave, or how you navigate the world. You are not a puppet, manipulated by the strings of others' words or actions. You are the driver of your own responses. When you learn to control your response, you gain freedom, the freedom to act in alignment with your values, your goals, and your vision, rather than reacting from a place of impulse. Mastering your response is a skill that requires practice. It means choosing to take a step back, to breathe, and to think before speaking or acting. It means cultivating the emotional intelligence to know when to engage and when to step away. It's in those moments of choice that you define the kind of person you are and the life you are creating for yourself. Control your response, and you are not simply surviving, you are thriving, grounded in the knowledge that your peace and your power lie within your ability to choose your reaction, no matter the circumstances. Silence is often misunderstood as weakness or indifference, but in reality, it can be one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. When you choose silence in moments of tension or provocation, you assert a level of control that words cannot match. Silence allows you to step outside of the noise and chaos, to rise above the fray and maintain your dignity. It speaks louder than any response could, sending a message that you are not easily shaken or manipulated by the external forces around you. The power of silence lies not just in what it prevents you from saying, but in what it communicates without a word. In a world that often rewards constant verbal defense and argument, choosing silence demonstrates that you do not need to prove anything to anyone. Your value is not contingent on what you say or how you react. Silence conveys strength, wisdom, and inner peace. It says, I am secure in who I am, and I do not need to engage in every exchange to feel validated. In moments when others are trying to provoke you, silence can be your most effective defense. The person trying to get a reaction from you expects something, either a defense, a rebuttal, or an emotional reaction. When you don't give them what they expect, you disarm them. Their power over you evaporates because they can no longer provoke or control your emotions. Instead of reacting to them, you take away their leverage over your state of mind, and in doing so, you keep your emotional equilibrium intact. Silence also allows you to maintain your peace. Sometimes the most respectful and powerful action you can take is to simply walk away from a situation or to disengage without making a scene. In doing so, you protect your energy, your focus, and your mental clarity. Engaging in unnecessary conflict can drain you, pulling you into negativity that ultimately does nothing to serve your personal growth or peace of mind. Silence helps you preserve your resources, your time, your attention, and your emotional energy so that you can direct them toward what truly matters. Silence gives you the space to reflect and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. When you choose silence in a heated moment, you allow yourself time to process your emotions, consider your options, and decide how to best move forward. This is especially important when dealing with difficult or toxic individuals who may try to provoke you into a reaction that you later regret. Silence is a strategy. It is not passive, but a conscious choice to protect your peace and remain in control of your actions. Choosing silence doesn't mean you are avoiding issues or failing to stand up for yourself. It means you are prioritizing your peace and choosing not to engage with negativity. The act of silently stepping away can sometimes be the most powerful statement you make. By choosing silence, you are saying that you value your inner peace more than the need to prove a point or engage in a petty argument. In this way, silence becomes not only a shield, but a symbol of your strength, maturity, and self-control. Emotional traps are one of the most subtle yet dangerous forces that can derail your peace and clarity. There are situations or interactions where others deliberately or sometimes unknowingly attempt to manipulate your emotions, often with the goal of provoking a reaction. These traps are designed to draw you into a cycle of emotional engagement, where you lose control over your responses and allow external circumstances to dictate your state of mind. To avoid these emotional traps, it's essential to recognize them for what they are: distractions that ultimately have no value in your journey toward peace and personal growth.
I'm home. See you on the next trip, everybody.